Here's altcoin market cap chart. Everybody, I am so bullish right now. It is not the time to be bearish. But as I start this video, I'm going to give you that macro bullish data to kind of continue tracking where we are in the cycle, the breakout to all-time high, price discovery. But I want to just mention to you right now as we start the video, in this video, I will also be discussing short-term potential consolidation, dip over the coming weeks, something to prepare for. I'm very macro bullish. I have been since bear market lows, but this is a volatile journey and the data is suggesting, although we are macro bullish, there's potential case for downside. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like on the charts. So hit the subscribe, like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system, get back there, click the link below. We have a 7-day trial still going on. Start planning your exits with our proprietary risk models. This is like institutional grade stuff back here. So let's start the video. I want to start reading. I just want to read this real quick, and then we're gonna dive into some really nice charts. Now is not the time to be bearish on altcoins. There are 70 plus crypto ETPs out there, which will be approved before Q1 2026. For years, we have waited for institutions to buy our bags, and it's about to happen. Don't panic, sell now, only buy back higher in a few months. Look at all of these filings. And we have our deadline dates coming up, like Cardano's in October, and others are in October. So this is one of many like zoomed out macro events. This is a culmination of very bullish events that are happening right now. As we start this video, I'm going to look at gold versus altcoins. Gold right now going crazy, kind of breaking all-time highs, price discovery, and this is a very big leading indicator for altcoin markets. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in comparison to the altcoin charts. And then I want to look at altcoin charts excluding the top 10. And then I just want to look at Solana and SUI price action to really paint this picture of how bullish we are on the macro, but what might be in store in the short term for potential dip. So let's start with gold. Right now, gold is in price discovery. There's just a few points that I want to point out to you on this chart. Let's start with last cycle when gold was topping out in August of 2020. Gold was going crazy. It was breaking all-time highs. And then we started consolidating, right? Well, August 2020, if we go look at the crypto market cap, this is altcoins, everything excluding Bitcoin. Here's gold topping out at that moment. Notice, gold topping out wasn't like the end of an altcoin bull market or anything. It was the beginning of the altcoin bull market. Altcoins exploded after that happened. One thing to note, when gold did top out, there was this kind of multi-week consolidation right into the 20-week. It's interesting right now that right now gold is going crazy and it can continue. It might not be topping out right now, but it is interesting that right now as gold is doing this, we've already talked about, and we saw it on the Ethereum chart. I think yesterday I did the video. This throwback to the symmetrical triangle on Ethereum multi-year is very much in play before potentially going higher into all-time high price discovery mode. Well, you go to the altcoin market cap chart, it is very also true. This 20 to 50 week moving average is an area of interest if we're going to consolidate. So could we have this moment pre-bull market where we are consolidating, kind of similar to what happened last cycle when right after gold was going to all-time highs? Potentially. The other thing I want to mention though on this chart is I found this interesting because I talked about this yesterday. We had the first rate cut since 2020, and this was back in September 2024. Altcoins took a moment, like weeks, before making a massive move. I was looking at what gold was doing, right? So here is September 2024. Gold made this move to the upside. And then, and this could be kind of where we are right now in this month of interest rate cuts, gold continues going higher, similar to last year. And then October 2024, it topped out, and then gold started consolidating. And what did altcoins do? Check it out. Right after that moment, going into November, altcoins started making a move to the upside. This is additional data that suggests altcoins might actually consolidate while gold continues making a strong move. Once gold is over making its move, boom, then altcoins make the move, the breakout into price discovery. So before we go and look at Solana and SUI, I do want to look at the others' total market cap. So this is excluding top 10, basically. The thing I wanted to point out to you is this, as we're kind of discussing potential short-term consolidation with a very bullish macro look right now in markets, I just wanted to point out to you, when we're even looking at something like last cycle, right? All back here, we were just obviously looking at August 2020, gold topping out, and we're getting ready for altcoin season. Similar things going on right now. Look at the 20-week moving average into this move, right? That separation from the 50 in blue and then just parabolic. Look what just happened. I mean, this is pretty recent, the 20 getting above the 50. And if we go look at the momentum oscillator on this altcoin market cap chart, this is incredible consolidation, everybody. If we just look from last cycle, this is November 2021. This was like what? Almost 4 years ago. 4 years of consolidation and a bear market thrown in the mix. And right now, we have so much upside. We have an entire bull market upside in play for altcoin markets, and we're just getting this kind of separation of the 20 above the 50. We can see, maybe there will be a month or two of consolidation, continued consolidation, but we can see a massive price discovery move in play on this altcoin chart. And really, the macroeconomic, the business cycle landscape for this to happen is set very nicely. So let's go look at Solana, and then I want to look at SUI kind of to play into this. The thing I just noticed on Solana is nothing crazy in terms of price analysis. We'll probably do a little bit more in terms of price action on SUI, but Solana is very simple. Solana's massive. This is like Solana's cycle in terms of narrative. And if that's the case, look at the chart. I mean, the chart has been sideways, not only since March 2024, barely breaking this all-time high area in January 2025, but it's been sideways since last cycle, everybody. And this is like the VC chain. The move has not happened yet for Solana. Now, if we go look at the risk model for Solana, it's literally at a moderate buy at a 36. So this is our risk model for Solana. All of our risk models look different, but look at last cycle. Go back to, we can go back to when the altcoin bull market really started in like January 2021. Look at Solana sitting at a 34 risk. Look at the upside that was in play. And this is the exact purpose of these risk models. And if you're not in there, everybody, go set up strategies. Start visualizing your altcoin if it's back there, and start planning your exits. Because if we go into a move like this from the 30s, similar to last altcoin season, boom, we're like entering the 70s. You're going to want to get alerted. You're going to want to start potentially taking, if you're eyeing up the 70s, I think it's a good area, taking profits. And then the 80s. And imagine this, 98 last cycle. Right now, as I do this video, Solana's at a 36. And this is at the confluence of all of this bullish macro data that is setting up for altcoins right now, including just the gold data that we just covered. It's not like this has to repeat exactly, right, from what we've seen in previous cycles, but we are just in continued suppression and consolidation zone on these altcoins, and there is so much in play as we kind of see even quantitative tightening slowing down and coming to an end. Interest rates getting ready to come down, similar to a year ago in September. Let's go look at SUI. The reason I wanted to bring up SUI is because actually, if you look at SUI's risk model in our intelligence system, it's at a 49, which is fine. This is a newer model. So we don't have like cycle data from previous cycles, right? But what I do find interesting, and I think is a good exercise for something like a new chart like SUI, is not only using, potentially like the local top that we saw in January 2025 into the 60s as a good area to monitor SUI, but if we think about SUI and this risk model, how it doesn't have cycle data, we don't know what it looks like. We can use something like a Solana risk model, because SUI this cycle can operate very similar to Solana last cycle, right? So again, the 70s and 80s could be a nice starting point, and we could totally see SUI get into the 90s, 90 to 100 range on this risk score. So 49 is in hold territory, but is very much a pre-bull area when we're looking at risk models that we've had across the board, like something like Solana, or go look at something like Ethereum, or even Cardano. So in relation to SUI price action, this plays into our whole potential consolidation that's in play, right? Here's altcoin market cap. We looked at the potential throwback that's in play there. The Ethereum throwback to the symmetrical triangles in play. It's not guaranteed, but if it happens, I noticed something on the SUI chart, which I thought was pretty cool, which is we have this swing low back here in April 2025 to swing high, right? Right there. We have this green Fibonacci, that's the 786 to 618 throwback area that I'm always watching for structure, for support. We hit that support. And that was in June 2025. So from June to basically the swing high that we had in July, we're consolidating once again. We have really nice confluent support at the 618 of the Fibonacci. It's confluent with the 200-day moving average, but this is still in play. The 786 of the Fibonacci, right? So basically the 786 to the 618, so $3 to around 270 is in play for if altcoins are going to fall, we might see SUI make that move. Now you can see we're kind of falling out of this like really nice trend line, but one thing is for sure, we want to see just a higher low, right? We can fall below a trend line, but we want to see a higher low from this higher low. So a continued higher low move, boom, we're breaking back up. This could be the move for SUI. And I wanted to bring this up just because SUI is another VC project that I think is going to explode. And this has been just absolutely consolidating all year long, right? January 2025, we're at the same price on SUI as we were November 2024, almost a year ago. So the compression that has happened for this chart is just so obvious, right? And so this is the story across all altcoins. And it looks a little bit different on all of these charts. All of the chart structures are different, but I think the move is getting ready to happen. So we have a 1618 target of around over $7 for SUI. Van Eck, I think, has a target of $13 to $25. And so the upside for something like SUI is massive, and the move has not started yet. I think this is what this is illustrating. So don't panic sell now, only to buy back higher in a few months. I just wanted to re-echo that thought because this is what happens often. This has been a game of patience. The upside is obviously there. There's risk in this game. We don't know exactly how this is going to play out. But I'll tell you one thing. I think it's way more risky not to have exposure into crypto right now versus just, being in the crypto space and preparing for a move like this. Imagine the move happens. I mean, just imagine. We get a move similar to 2017 bull market, 2020 bull market. We get a move similar and you don't have any exposure to crypto. That's going to not be fun. So these are my thoughts today. Anticipate more volatility. We know how this game works, especially with all these narratives. We have so much data coming out. We have Fed interest rate cuts, how that's going to play out in the next week. There's going to be a lot of volatility. Anticipate dips, everybody. But the macro is still looking good. The compression is intact, and I think the explosion is preparing. So these are my thoughts today. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. Again, if you're not in our intelligence system, click the link below. Check us out. These are the tools I'm using. I'm incredibly excited about this company and our models and everything that we're bringing to the table. So go check us out if you're not in there already. I will see you all in the next video. God bless.